Hey there, everybody. All right. I am here to do what many of you really enjoy, and I love doing it for you. It's a lot of work, but man, am I always fascinated to see how spirit reads. So this is your pick a card reading for the new moon in Scorpio. I think I'm taping this early or late morning on Wednesday the 20th. Some people have said that the new moon goes into effect tonight. Others are saying tomorrow, November 20th. I guess it depends somewhat on where you live. But for this month's new moon reading, you all, Spirit had me do it astrologically. So you're going to pick according to your sun, moon, and rising, or any of those three sun, moon, and rising signs. So you may, do a little cross reference. So for our air signs, we have the feathers. All right. Air signs. Who we got? Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. For our earth signs, we've got this really gorgeous piece of celestite. This thing is heavy too. Celestite for our earth signs, Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. We have, of course, fire for our fire signs. Spirit said get literal with it because Scorpio keeps everything real, right? It's one of those signs that gets to the bottom of everything. There's nothing superficial in Scorpio energy. So we've got our fire here, and this will be for, of course, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries, of course, always. And then finally, nice little blue water for our Cancer, our Scorpio, talk about Scorpios and Pisces, all right? So just take a moment, take in that energy, and I'm going to go ahead and go in. Let me move the others here. All right, let me put the fire here. Actually, I'm going to move the fire over so it's not right underneath the camera. That would be bad. And let's put the water over here. All right, you all. So I'm going to go in starting out with air signs. Here's your message. New moon in Scorpio. Thinking also, you all keep in mind that we've got a lot of planets in retrograde during this new moon in Scorpio. Matter of fact, let me see if I can find it. I made some notes as I was preparing to tape because I was like, man, this really is a lot of like inward energy. I know many times when we get into new moon energy, we think about manifestation and putting things in motion and taking steps to start something new. But with all these retrogrades, it's like, I don't know, maybe this is more of an inner journey or an assessment or reassessment, or even thinking about in tarot, the Scorpio is represented by the death card, transformation and rebirth, or endings and rebirth. So just a quick summary for my astrology enthusiasts. We've got, of course, Mercury in retrograde, so assessing our thoughts and communications. We've got Jupiter in Cancer in retrograde, asking us to assess our emotional patterns, our families, our tribes, our relationships. We've got Saturn in retrograde in Pisces, so the responsibility, Saturn, for our spiritual growth, right? Pisces. We've got Neptune in retrograde, maybe dealing with some illusions or taking the covers off of illusions. Scorpio energy, getting to the truth in the heart of a matter. Clouded vision sometimes in Neptune. So again, it's like Spirit is like, it's time to get real, right? Uranus is in retrograde. Are you resisting necessary change? So all of these things taken together with this new moon in Scorpio, you all, it just feels like a really powerful time that Spirit is giving us and the universe is giving us to reassess some things. All right, so having said that, let's go in. For air signs, Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. Let's see what came for you. We start out with the Three of Wands, and that even says Sun in Aries, if that rings a bell for some of you all. So we've got the Three of Wands with the Ace of Air coming in your element. This reading is for air signs. So what's growing? A growth in who you talk to, how you are expressing yourself. A freshness. This feels really good, really fresh. Like you're assessing, how do I grow? Some of you, this could even be in relation to your writing or thinking about new projects, how you operate with technology. There's definitely growth and expansion there for you with the Hierophant. So what are you mastering? And or who are you learning from in regards to communications, in regards to growing your skills? And the Fool. Whoa, I just looked down and saw that. So definitely this new moon in Scorpio, you're doing something different. You're definitely ready to go at something different. And it is in how you think, how you communicate, how you process. There's a lot of internal growth that's happening that's positioning you. I think some of you are getting ready to step into more accepting your notions of leadership and how you operate in the world. And again, this is more of an inner assessment that's happening during this new moon, you all. So it could be that you are making a conscious decision to go at your leadership style, your communication style in a different way. How you manage your relationships, how you, the role that you play in your relationships. But it is very much deeply spiritual, the Hierophant, deeply spiritual, and where you have undergone a lot of training to this point, Spirit is saying, a lot of training and a lot of preparation that now you're ready to embark on this period of growth, on this period of being clearer than you've ever been, stable, solid in your thinking, air signs, okay? You've got Black Moon Lilith in Aries, lead your life, all right? That is so in alignment with what we just saw in your tarot cards, because leading your life, Aries, a card of leadership, a card ruled by the head, how you are thinking and thinking clearly about your role in your relationships, in your life purpose. There's like really this you're ready to step up and step into it and really be in charge of the energy. They just said, you are responsible for the energy you bring into a room. So there's something here where you are truly ready to embark on a different way that you are operating in your communications, writing, how you operate in business, how you are seen in business, and really feeling more in charge of your own lives. You've got your inner light. Even in the depths of shadow, your soul remains luminous. Never lose sight of it. We know that very often when we get to that aspect of Scorpio energy, there is that shadow work that comes up because Scorpio goes deep on everything. It gets to the truth. There is no hiding from a Scorpio. They will know. Let me turn on a little extra light here. Let's see if that helps. Yeah, a little bit. There is no hiding. And so your inner light, and I love that focus on the inner as well, you all, because remember, we were talking about all those retrogrades. So a lot of what's going on in this new moon in Scorpio energy, it is this internal landscape that's preparing you to get ready to make some moves, take action and make some moves in your outer world, your outer landscape. You have seek guidance in this. It's time for a different perspective. That Fool card that you got, right? Seek guidance, Hierophant, teachers. So it could very well be that for some of you, it is time to tune in to someone you trust, a respected mentor, taking a class, taking a workshop, get it right. Writing again comes up. Some of you definitely are writing, reading books, absorbing information that helps you grow. This really is, lead your life. This is for many of you, it's a time of really coming into your own, really understanding your own authority, your own innate ability to take charge. But to do that, you do still need some training, and it could be training or insight from a different perspective, someone who, or a way of thinking or doing things that you haven't previously considered. And it could be that's what your inner light is for. Remember, Scorpio energy is super authentic. So if you've been sort of hanging out with people or accustomed to doing things a certain way in your families, because it's how it's always been done, there's almost a break from tradition. This is a very traditional card. This is a very ruled by Uranus. The Fool is a very shifting, shifting dynamics. So some of you could be really coming into your own power and clarity in that Ace of Air, lead your life to standing on your own feet, seeking guidance from a different perspective and allowing yourself to stand in that truth, where you are ready to go next, what you're ready to do next. You've got immerse yourself. And that message says, training. Oh my gosh, I can't believe training. We just talked about workshops and teachers. Training, learning new hobbies and passions. You got that? Oh, wow. Oh, wow, 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 wow. I'm excited. Because the thing is, remember, in Scorpio doesn't do anything halfway. And so there is an immersion. There is where you really are ready to go into, in that Black Moon Lilith in Aries, you are ready to truly become your own guru, is what I just heard. And the best gurus, even if this is you seeking help from a teacher, or learning from a teacher or a mentor or a guide, this could also be religious texts, for those of you who are into, different types of sacred texts for your learning. It's still you immersing yourself in that because you're seeking guidance, but it's really about discovering your own inner power and your own inner light so you can get ready to move on. Some of you are going to get an invitation. I don't know if this is like a retreat or a gathering or a group of some sort, but it's almost as if you are being invited, going back to that 3 of Wands or 3 of Fire, where you're invited into an atmosphere that really does help you grow, but grow in a new direction. You've got a no answer that comes. So if there is a particular way that you were tempted to go at something, or you've been waiting on an answer from spirit, and it would just come down to a flat out yes or no answer, the answer is no. The answer to how you used to do something is no. Spirit is saying be clear about that. This is how you used to do something. Because in contrast with that Fool, it's saying the old ways won't satisfy you anymore, air signs, okay? The old ways of doing things, the usual, the status quo it's not gonna cut it. It's not gonna satisfy you at this point in your journey and your growth. And also, I'm seeing that some of you have become pretty masterful in your knowledge, and so somebody just telling you, well, this is the way it's always been done. You're ready to say no. I'm going to do it a different way. My inner self, my inner light is telling me to do it a different way. And you've got a key that comes for you. Symbolically, that's knowledge. Think about that Ace of Swords that you got. There is more knowledge, or a key to knowledge, or an opportunity that you are going to be given, air signs, to increase and expand your knowledge. 3 of Wands. Like really immersing yourself in something that you are passionate about. This says new hobbies and passion, training and learning. This is something that you want to embrace. And you may embrace it from someone who is an expert, or you feel has mastered. For me, for instance, many people love learning tarot from me because I've done it a long time. But it's not because I'm all there is. This is about you coming into your own through the guidance and teaching of others. There's some cleansing at moonrise that comes up for you. So I would say, air signs, incense. Use the things that are natural to air. So incense, chimes, whistles, bells, music, things that waft on air would really be cleansing for you at this time. Of course, always sage, things like that. But air, and I'm even getting perfumes for some of you. Anything that carries on air, because air is your power element. Anything that carries on air that can be cleansing. This would be a really good time for you right now. You've got the Mother of Water that comes, emotional self-care. Powerful, powerful message from Spirit during a new moon in Scorpio with all that watery energy. And also remember, Jupiter in Cancer, the family, the relationships, Cancer being that really mothering, nurturing kind of energy. So this is that you're getting a key to how to activate more self-care, how to be more mothering and nurturing towards yourself, taking care of your emotions, and your emotions being tied to then your actions, leading your life. You've got your mind, body, and soul. All those things coming together around this cleansing that you're doing and around this emotional self-care that you just got. Pile number one. All right. Air signs. That's really, really lovely. It's like you are learning, going back to this Fool and Hierophant and lead your life. You are learning your own inner light. You are learning to say no with no apologies to anyone or anything that just doesn't quite fit what you need and want at this time. It's you putting yourself first. Another Aries kind of quality, right? Aries is that's the head. It has no problems with asserting itself. So that's part of what's coming for you. You've got the brawler, lack of empathy or confrontation. I feel like for some of you, this is going to be someone around you. This could be a family element. This could also be going into the holiday season. We know we're coming up on Thanksgiving, family gatherings next week. So there's a dynamic here where I think Spirit is saying, you already know what this energy is. If somebody comes around you, again, that says lack of empathy and confrontation, the brawler. If that represents in your workplace, your family, wherever that fits for you, it's like you see that person coming or that energy coming from a mile away. And you're already operating to say, I see you coming and I know how to circumvent it. I know how to stop it. And to the extent that you, because they're telling me read this both ways, to the extent that you have been filled with a lack of self-empathy, going back to that mother of water, that emotional self-care, to the extent that you've been sort of, having this battle with yourself, with a lack of empathy, being too hard on yourself, regrets, recriminations, then that confrontation is actually in a healthy way because you're going to get to the root. Scorpio gets to the root of things. You're going to get to the root of why you have not been more kind to yourself, that emotional self-care. You're going to get to the root of that. And as you get to the root of it, you're going to go and immerse yourself and understand how you want to lead your life. Fresh ideas about how you want to go about that. Keys to that knowledge, right? So this could also be, talk about all this retrograde energy. It could be where you're coming to terms with that part of yourself, all right? I pulled two archetypes for every stack. And one is the Virgin, light attribute, maintaining symbolic purity of heart and spirit. I'm really drawn back to that cleansing card with that, you all. There's a restart. We talked about Scorpio rebirth with that Virgin energy. That's how this feels. There is a rebirth for some of you. And it really is about reclaiming your purity, meaning not that you are without fault or blemish. We all are, but it's always okay to hit restart and cleansing yourself from anything that may have you feeling bogged down or like, I want to change, but I don't know how to change, that sort of energy. It's releasing that. It's absolutely releasing that and letting yourself, seeing yourself as a virgin, new at something else that you want to learn, new at a different direction that you want to take in life. For some of you, this could be business, entrepreneurial pursuits. That's a Virgin energy as well. Virgin energy also related to the Fool, something that you have not done before. You are new at, you are a virgin at it, but your path there and the success is assured through this emotional self-care, the mother of water, and your mind, your body, your soul. If you do things and make these next moves air signs, in a way that is authentic, nothing can stop you. You have an angel that comes for you. And it says, helping those in need with no expectation of return. That's another archetype that Spirit wants you to think about and relate to. All right? And that's beautiful. And both of these cards in this deck, I guess you may have noticed in both of these decks, it comes with a light attribute or shadow attribute. Both of your cards you got in the light form. So that's good. That's Spirit assisting you and saying it really won't be a struggle. There is angelic assistance, and it's just a starting over, like really embracing this rebirth. And you have a gemstone that will help you, and it is carnelian. Taking action. But the action you're taking is very internal, air signs. It's taking action so that you feel capable. I love that you're getting it in a fire, and one of your starting cards in tarot is that 3 of Wands, fire. So there is this, and your inner light, which feels kind of fiery. There is an ability in Aries, fire. So even air signs, you've got, some of you may have a lot of fire in your charts, but the element of fire, being inspired, taking action inwardly to affect the changes, immerse yourself to affect the changes, seek the guidance so that you can affect the changes that you really want, because it's sending you down a whole new path of growth and expansion and really being your own boss. All right. So some carnelian would help you a lot. All right, air signs. I hope that was helpful. That was really powerful. And so much depth and exploration, self-exploration, which really makes sense in a Scorpio new moon, right? All right, moving on. We're going to go to our earth signs now with that incredible celestite. Let's put that over there. And let's see what came for our earth signs. All right. Oh my gosh, here comes the Fool again. We just had the Fool playing a powerful role in the air signs reading. Here comes the Fool with the Queen of Wands, ready to start something new for inspiration, earth signs. You have the 4 of Pentacles because the status quo is not doing it any longer. It just won't do. The stagnation that can often be something that Spirit's talking about when you get a 4 of Pentacles. It's not deprivation, but it's holding on so tightly to the status quo, to the way things are, that there's something here in that Fool, ruled by Uranus, that's like ready to take off, ready to feel inspired with that Queen of Wands. And you've got the 9 of Cups, perfect complement to your other tarot, because this is Scorpio energy, water, right? And water feeds earth. Whatever you want, earth signs, Taurus, Virgo, Capricorn, whatever's paramount to you right now that you're yearning for, Spirit is saying you got to open up your arms. You won't get there by just holding on to the status quo, right? And this wish fulfillment that offers itself in this 9 of Cups is all about you allowing yourself. And for some of you, this is somebody around you. There's somebody who's going to inspire you to want to change. Like somebody who comes in and says, I see you, I know what you're capable of, but I also know that you can do more. And you're like, yes, I'm ready to do more. I want more. So this Queen of Wands could also be somebody who really inspires you. It could be a family member, a close friend, a teacher, a coworker, whatever. But it's somebody, I feel like there's somebody who's going to really inspire you to take the leap. To take the leap and go after something that you really want. And there could be an element of risk in it. We know very often when we see the Fool ruled by Uranus, there can be an element of risk. You know, it's something you've never done before, but that's where you are if you want it. There's a dissolution here, an emotional clearing that comes for you, earth signs. What's being dissolved? Talk about Scorpio energy, right? Death and rebirth. What's being dissolved? Emotional clearing, very powerful during a Scorpio new moon. So really allowing yourself to, I'm seeing some of you almost just get empty of certain emotions that have been holding you back, and really operating from a space of groundedness. Talk about earth. Operating from more from a space of groundedness and logic, rather than just emotional, your typical emotional responses. That's that emotional clearing. You've got breaking karmic cycles, recognize repeating patterns, and take action to break generational wounds. Wow. Wow. Dissolution and breaking the cycles, right? Can't make it up. I mean, it's one of the reasons, again, that I love doing these readings, because it's like putting together the pieces of a puzzle. I don't know what the picture's going to be, you know? And then looking at how spirit brings together that message is just, I'm always grateful. So, breaking some karmic cycles. And that might be why you need a sister, a friend, a coach, or whatever to kind of talk you through some of it, because it's what you know. The karmic cycles is sort of, it's had a lot to do with your life history so far, and some of you have just come to accept it. Like, I am this way with money because my mother was always this way, or my father, or my life experience. I feel this way around safety and security. Remember, we're looking at you, earth signs, so that those sorts of issues are always going to be important to you, earth. What is stable, what is grounded, what makes you feel safe, what you know you can depend on. So there's a new way that you want to go about it, and that you're going to be inspired to go about it, and it is going to break some karmic cycles. Done, over with, not doing it that way anymore. I'm going my own way. And look, it's time to celebrate. Cultivate an air of celebration today. This breakout that you are prepared for, or in the midst of, or starting, earth signs. It is cause for celebration. I also feel like, in a very literal sense, with the holidays approaching, if there's a family dynamic that some of you may be, for some of you, if you're more alone because your loved ones are no longer here, or have moved around or scattered, whatever that situation is, there's still cause to celebrate, is what Spirit is showing here. And it may be that you get invited someplace, or you decide to host something, meet people out for dinner. Just really, the cause for celebration is a part of your fool's journey at this time, earth signs, right? It really is about stepping out there and taking a chance. But you do it not being frightened. You do it with confidence, in that, with that Queen of Wands, or you do it with someone who brings you confidence to break out of it. And that celebration is also a part of your medicine. The celebration is what breaks the cycle. Because if this cycle was heavy, limiting beliefs, people who always have something to say about how you live your life, blah, blah, blah. We all been there, right? The celebration disperses that. That's part of the dissolution. You've got the Lady of the Lake, new beginnings, and something is about to happen. All right, now, here we go back with that Fool energy. Something's about to happen for you, earth signs. And this could even be someone new. This Queen of Wands could be someone new that comes into your life in a surprising way, or someone who because we are so many planets in retrograde, it could be someone that you haven't spoken to in a while, that you need to or desire to get back in touch with. But this new beginnings with the Fool, and it's something that you want. It's something that you've been wanting with that Nine of Cups. This is not something you're going to be resistant to at all. I think this is something that you're going to be ready to go for it. It's going to be a little different. It's going to require you to loosen up a little bit, that Four of Pentacles, but you'll be ready. And listen deeply. You're going to learn a lot. You're entering a phase. This new moon in Scorpio is going to reveal a lot of things to you about the past, about people in your past, but also about the present and what you want going into this next phase of your life, wrapping up this year and preparing for the next year, 2026, all of those things, really being ready to do it. And Spirit is saying, listen, not only to others, but listen to yourself. Listen to that inner voice that you have that's telling you, here's what I really want. All right? You have a lily that comes for you symbolically. Love, maturity, wisdom, understanding. It's like you've earned this. And for some of you, I'm getting earth signs that this is something that's been building momentum for a while. You've taken time to sit back and consider and think about what it is that you really want in that Nine of Cups energy. And you've been thinking about, okay, so in that practical way that earth signs can, okay, so if this is what I want, how do I go about getting it? And part of your path to getting it is by connecting with people who inspire you. Connecting with people who make you want to celebrate, connecting with people who are on that higher vibe, who are wise, who bring that bounty of wisdom and beauty. You've got shadow work, not surprising. Talk about this moon energy in Scorpio. Scorpio is so adept at shadow work. So what made you breaking those karmic cycles? That's the shadow work. What made you hold back from doing more? What made you more reserved? For some of you, if you tend to be an introvert, and so showing up as the life of a party, or being the one to take initiative, or just really putting yourself out there might have been a little more challenging because of conditioning. That's the shadow work. And doggone if you didn't get in your own element, Mother of Earth, fertile ground. Everything that you are planting at this time, your ideas, your relationships, your cause for celebrations, it is literally fertilizing the ground beneath you. The spiritual ground, the financial ground, the social ground, your social networks. Like, there's so much that's ready to take. It has taken root. Spirit is saying it has taken root because you've been wanting it for a while. This change and this ability and willingness to put yourself out there, to break those karmic cycles, that's something you've been working on for a while. But it's been holding tight to what you know, and the listening deeply is what you are about to be exposed to, both internally through your spirit, through the spirit realm, and externally through the people who inspire you. That's the work. That is the shadow work. Letting go of any fear that you have. Some of you have been a little fearful. Some of you have been taught that to have pleasure and to celebrate and to show up joyfully is almost a no-no, because there's been a lot of trauma. There's been a lot of stuff that still can crop up and trigger you, karmic cycles. But so like, who's got time to celebrate and go out here and be all social when you're dealing with the heavier stuff? But that's what this dissolution is about. Move your body to move your emotions. All right. Tied again to celebration. Either you have been recently, or you will, earth signs, be given an opportunity to literally move your body, move your emotions, dancing, walking, being more physical, taking yoga, tai chi, but really unwinding. And that is the emotional clearing. I've been working a lot lately with somatic body movements, and this makes me think about that as well, because emotional clearing, sometimes it takes more than just meditation, visualization, writing it out, talk therapy, all of which is amazing, but moving your body is literally moving the emotions, literally clearing the emotions, literally breaking karmic cycles, literally moving can be a form of celebration. All right. You've got the patron that comes for you, mentorship and finances. The patron, mentorship and finances. I see this as one of two ways. One, this could be for some of you, you are that patron. You are someone who mentors others, who is prepared to mentor others, especially as it relates thinking about earth signs, your natural element around finances, around money, around security, around, around the things that you are manifesting. That's something as an earth sign that naturally, this is your power element. It comes naturally to you. So your patronage could be that through, and you may have a desire to mentor others around that. And the thing is, so you move and you plant the seeds. This fertile ground, Mother of Earth comes. You move and you plant the seeds and you do the shadow work. And it could, for some of you, even be that you are a patron. Your mentorship around finances is to help others move through the shadow work. All of this might not belong to you. Some of this could be your desire to share the lessons that you've learned around sometimes what can feel limiting or too safe, so that when you're too safe, you can't grow. That's that Four of Pentacles energy. It's not suffering, but it's saying, hey, there's so much more you could be doing. Loosen up a little bit. Listening. It could be some of you learning and getting more comfortable in a role, the Fool, that you are going to play as a patron, as a mentor, as someone who understands money, understands abundance, understands tangible things in the world, and you impart that knowledge. You have a Samaritan who comes for you, and it says it came in the light attribute, refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. All right, the Samaritan is an archetype. And the second archetype you have is of the King. And it says, enlightened, benevolent leadership benefiting those in your charge. Now. Did we not just talk about the patron? You see how those are tying in? You have a lot of wisdom and a lot of knowledge. And talking about breaking karmic cycles, part of your life purpose, earth signs, is to offer this to people, is to stand out with your enlightenment, with your benevolence towards others, to help them reach their highest potential. The Good Samaritan, that makes me think of the saying, the Good Samaritan. Refine your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. So some of this, talk about all this retrograding energy, earth signs, is you coming to grips even with those who have pissed you off, done you wrong, didn't come through, whatever the stories were, right? We all have them. But there could be, in this retrograde energy, almost a breaking the karmic cycles, like you showing up that you're bigger than that. You grew out of it and you're able to be expansive. Going back to that Lady of the Lake, the new beginnings, and something is about to happen. It's like you broke the cycles by moving and growing in your own capacity, so that now you start benefiting from it. There's abundance here that's showing up for you. And the abundance comes from your ability to help others. And I just looked down and saw your final card. The gemstone, you have growth, adventuring. What an incredible earthy, talk about growth, expansion, finances, adventuring. This is truly, with that fertile ground, there's a real opportunity. Even in that lily, I'm drawn to all of that growth and luscious earth energy. Even in your time to celebrate card, that luscious, see all the flowers with the Mother of Earth, all this incredible, beautiful earthy energy that's shown up for you today in your reading. Even the Queen of Wands with that beautiful sunflower energy. You're ready to be blessed, period. You're ready to grow, and your path to growth is by helping others. And this could be new for you, or the way you go about it could be what this new moon in Scorpio is kind of pinging you for, earth signs. But you're totally ready for it. Your path is movement. Physical movement leads to emotional release, leads to the people coming to you who will inspire you, and you listen to them, and then you're ready to step into your growth. All right? Wow. I love that. I would love to hear from you and hear more about how that pinged. All right? Okay, let's move on, my friends, to fire signs. Those who are drawn. Well, not drawn to, because it's your natural element, right? Fire signs. So we've got Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. Let's see what comes. We have the Knight of Fire. Talk about fire signs. So something already moving. Water, Eight of Cups. Saturn in Pisces. Saturn in Pisces, I think, was one of the transits that we talked about in retrograde. So this is deeply spiritual, fire signs. I'll tell you that right off the bat. Like really owning your spirituality and being passionate about it, like wanting to grow, wanting to do more. Knights are movement, blossoming spiritually in what you think is possible. For some of you, even fire signs, you could be interested in or growing more interested in star seeds and sort of universal concepts, the galaxy, the cosmos. Like you could be really ready to expand your spiritual knowledge. Here comes death. And I love that in doing a new moon in Scorpio reading, because death in tarot, as many of you know, is ruled by Scorpio. Water, Eight of Cups, really ready to the maturity level, the emotional intelligence that you are recognizing within yourself is already occurring. The Seven of Pentacles, going slow with it, nothing haphazard, nothing, really taking some time to think about what you have done or what you have thought about, what you believe. For some of you, this is really about your faith and how your faith influences the way that you show up in the world. If you have felt like you had to kind of go it your own way because not everybody gets who you are spiritually, that's okay. That's part of what your fire element is helping you through. You've got Asherah, the mother of the gods, who comes for you. The mother of the gods, with all of that earthy energy and the roots and being solid. This is, again, deeply spiritual. The mother of the gods is coming. There's some past life regression that some of you have done, or even just Akashic records. There's something where the deeper you can get into your background, your ancestral background, your spiritual background, putting your life up into this point into a different, a greater perspective, it brings you closer to spirit. It brings you closer to cosmic and universal principles and laws that suddenly make practical daily sense to you. All right? You've got the shadow's gift that comes. Within darkness lies wisdom. The pain you've endured is shaping you into someone stronger. Look at that. All of this wisdom, standing up to your fears, standing up to limiting beliefs, standing up to those who may seem to have a lot of sway over you, or in the past. I really feel like this is more in the past, and a transformation coming from that, like taking stock, Seven of Pentacles, of what's really true, and deciding that you're ready to move on, because what's really true to you is a greater truth, is a more cosmic truth, is a truth that is more in alignment with spiritual ethics and principles, rather than just the human, here's what we do, here's right behavior and wrong behavior and, opinions about things. You're taking a much more expansive approach to that right now, fire signs. You've got listen. Your inner child has something to say. Listen, your inner child has something to say. I'm going to put that over here with this mother of the gods. This is some deeply reflective energy, and I think and the timing of this is so good for you all, fire signs, because again, new moon in Scorpio and all these planets in retrograde, all these transits happening right now, it's not meant to just, yeah, I know new moons, we think, okay, time to do something new, put a plan into action, start manifesting. But for you all, you are manifesting, but it is on your internal landscape. And listen, take some time and listen to your inner child who wants to say something through the cosmic mother. What you did not get, or what you did not understand, or what had felt like a painful to you. Hold on, my air conditioning just clicked on and it's going to get loud. All right, that'll go back off in a second. Sorry about that. I turned it up, but it's hot. I'm in Florida and it's hot here today. Okay, that'll go off in a moment. I'm sorry for that. So as you connect and listen to your inner child, listen to what that child needed, because what it's doing is that gift, it lets you own yourself. Bottom line, fire signs. You show up and you show out and you take pride in who you have become through this process of transformation. You've got the sacred well, replenishment, self-care, and giving from a place of plenty. Replenishment and self-care and giving from a place of plenty. There's, on a practical level, I see some of you taking more time in the bath, like putting, an Epsom salt bath, really taking time in your cleansing, in your self-cleansing, sitting with the incense, allowing yourself to just kind of brush it over your body, pull it in and brush it over your body, and treating your time to yourself as a sacred well. The well being where you go to listen. The mother of the gods, they are really calling you. The divine feminine is really calling you at this time in relation to how you were mothered and your emotional development. There's all of this powerful water, eight of water, 8 of cups, death ruled by Scorpio, water, the sacred well, water. How does the mother of the gods, how does her tree blossom without water, right? Without nurturing. You have romance and connection that comes for you. You're learning something about your worthiness. And for those of you who may have mother wounds or wounds around intimacy and physicality, that's what's being reshaped here. That's what's being honestly assessed, 7 of Pentacles, so that you can move on to something greater and something more fulfilling. Because that's what I think a lot of you fire signs, your element is fire, excitement, movement, action, change. And to the extent that something emotional or the lack of mothering, the lack of nurturing your new idea, nurturing your desires, nurturing this new project, nurturing your relationships with romance and connection, giving yourself an opportunity to try again. That's what's happening. And you've got the mouse that comes. Now, in the Lieberman system, mice often reflect a threat to stability. People who come in and want to yip away, eating up all the crumbs that, from you, or taking, and when you're not looking, like silently coming around you. So for some of you, I take this to mean there is a mistrust. And I think that mistrust is a result of a lot of what you went through in the past. It could, in particular, it could be a mistrust of women. If your preference, if you are a woman and your preference is women, this is also pointing to some really deep stuff that you've gone through there that the mothers now want to rectify, and they want you to listen. This inner child was not just a child. This inner child also represents your innocence in general. In other words, when you were in your teens or 20s, when, you know, still innocent and fresh as it relates to love, as it relates to intimacy and connection. So it's not just listen to your innocence. That is your inner child. And there's truth. As you listen, the truth is revealed. You got it? All right, fire signs? As you listen, the truth is revealed. And you're ready for that truth. You hunger for that truth. You hunger for true love, true acceptance, true realization of your own talents and gifts. And you're on the path to it. There's just a reconnection that some of you will undergo if you're not already, a reconnection to the potential that you have, the life-giving properties that you have. Remember, mothers being that gestation period, being the divine creatrix, being the source of life, new life that is born, the birthers. That's the truth, recognizing. And for some of you, if you are not a mother per se biologically, has nothing to do with it. If that's something that still sits within you somehow, the idea of mothering or the experience of mothering, then that is what you are on the threshold of, is to understand your sacred being, even male, all right, not just women, but even men going through this. Because we are all masculine and feminine combined, yin yang, right? So it's the balance of those things, and that is recognizing that sacred well within yourself is the truth that Spirit wants you to see. You have the altar of fire. I love that this comes for you in your element, all right? You have the altar of fire that's ready to ignite all around you and within you. And it says good juju, okay? Good juju, fire signs. The mothers bring you good juju. The divine feminine brings you good juju. This night of fire brings you good juju. You're ready for it. It says feel, don't think. With that beautiful lion there, oh my gosh. In the heart, the lion-hearted courage. Feel, don't think. All right? If that's what's happening with you all right now, or that's what you're striving for, or that's what you deeply yearn for, is that romance and connection, feel it. Don't think your way through it. Allow the fire of passion, allow the fire of what is possible to really take root and grow within you, all those roots around the mother, and walk away, Eight of Cups, walk away from that fear of being taken advantage of, or being, because you have more wisdom now. That's what you're listening to. That's the truth. You have more wisdom that you've gained as a result of the past. You have the shepherd that comes, and it says celebration and family. Celebration and family, the shepherd. Some of you may be, with the holiday celebrations coming up, you may be around someone who is an authority, or someone who's been helpful to you, sort of if not a family member, someone who's given you guidance. But there's that celebration and family that you need during this time. They're saying don't shy away from that. You have a gambler. That's wild. And you have the Messiah. Two archetypes that came for you. And it says a willingness to follow intuition, even when others doubt you. That's the gambler. And you've got the Messiah, serving humanity with humility. Hold those up for you. As two archetypes that Spirit wants you to consider right now. So being willing to take a risk, a gambler, and the Messiah, Serving humanity with humility. This, coming on the heels of that shepherd, you all, this makes me think as well. You may want a teacher. There may be someone whose influence and wisdom draws you during this time. Not that they are a messiah, by no means, but the idea that you serve, you could serve with humility, celebrating, and taking a chance, a willingness to follow intuition, even when others doubt you, a willing to do it. So, for instance, going back to this romance card, we all know it. The people who love us most, you meet somebody, or you think about it and they go, that person's not right for you. Or, oh, well, keep an eye out for that mouse and how people take advantage, da, da, da. And it comes very often from a place of being protective. We all know it. We've been down that road. But that's what I think this gambler is about. It's saying good juju. Concentrate on your good juju. Feel, don't think. Very crucial right now for you all. Fire. Feel it. Don't overthink it. And finally, you have your gemstone that will help you is self-knowledge, lapis. All right? Lapis lazuli will help you during this time. That self-knowledge. Going back to what we saw early on in your reading, so much self-discovery, so much emotional maturity, so much transition from the innocent part of you that has held on for a long time to certain truths. What's safe, what's not, how to love, whether you are worthy of love. Assessing all of that with that Seven of Pentacles energy in a practical way, but now also being ready to go out and reconnect and embrace it because you have self-knowledge with that lapis. Okay? All right, fire signs. That was very intriguing, very interesting. I'd love to hear your thoughts around that, how that pinged. All right, let me move fire over. And our final one, last but never least, okay, we don't exist without water. So for our water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Ooh, we start out in water, the page of water. What's new? What's cooking? Fresh perspectives. Ready to go at something that brings you love or something loving coming toward you with the Seven of Air. So you being a little skeptical about it, maybe. Looking twice, three times. Can I trust it? With the Ace of Swords, Spirit says yes, you can trust it. With the High Priestess. Wow. Okay. You know the difference between real and not real. That's one message that I'm getting really, really clear, especially because with that Ace of Swords. So you're clear. You are clear. You're getting clear on what you really want, but want in a new way. Pages, fresh, playful, delightful, joyful, laughing. And this combination, the Seven of Swords with the High Priestess, this feels like there's an inner knowing that you have, ruled by the moon, new moon in Scorpio, that sees through anything that might take you down a path that is not what you want. So you understand that, and you're coming to trust that in your own intuition, in your own desires, leaning on the High Priestess, she operates as that bridge between the sacred and the mundane, between spirit and earth, right? So for some of you, it would be a really good practice for you right now with that Ace of Swords. Write out your desires, but from a new and fresh perspective, keeping in mind that Page of Cups that you got, or Page of Water. It's time, write down, new moon, write down how you are feeling, High Priestess tied to the moon, about what you want, and specifically something new that you want. You have Black Moon Lilith in Aquarius. Honor your individuality. Now, Your Seven of Swords, also, that's the moon in Aquarius. There's a lot of Aquarius energy here. Because you're not meant to fit in. I don't mean it like literally, but what I'm saying is in this new moon in Scorpio, there's an urge that you're having to recognize there's nothing wrong with the way you think or the way you do things. And it's okay to double up on your approach. Your approach to spirituality, your approach to the decisions that you make. But this is also a reflective time, because remember, the high priestess doesn't just give up her knowledge, right? She doesn't tell you everything. She has that element of mystery about her. And sometimes she will come up when there are secrets that still need to be revealed. So for some of you, that could be also why that Seven of Swords is showing up, you all, because you've got this yearning for something new. And yet Spirit is saying, the high priestess is saying, look for any signs that you might be missing. It's not a warning per se. I'm not getting that. But honor your individuality. It's for some of you, if it's people pleasing that you can fall into at times. Sometimes listening to someone else's advice over your own, inner self and your own thoughts about something. That's what Spirit is saying here. Pay attention, honor your individuality. How everybody else goes at something might not be the way your soul is asking you to go about it with that Page of Cups. You've got surrender to change. Resistance creates suffering. Flow with transformation rather than against it. No resistance. No resistance. And this free writing I'm getting, going back to this, there's a free writing exercise for some of you. Just put the pen on the paper, and I don't care if you just doodle, if it's just a bunch of circles that comes out. There's something there that informs you, that helps the change occur. Connect to eternity within. Let yourself be held by love. Connect to eternity within you. That's what you're doing in that writing as well. You're writing to the high priestess. You're writing to the divine part of yourself that knows, that has the sacred knowledge, that will allow you to flow towards something happy and loving and new without so much worry about getting burned. And without so much worry about if you're getting it right. Honor your individuality. You have the water codes. And it says, ancient wisdom, the intelligence is within you. Oh my gosh. Here we go. Another confirmation with that high priestess. Right? Ancient wisdom, the intelligence is within you. You got that? You know the difference between what's healthy for you and what's not. Intuitively, water element, you know this. And there's just something about a reconnect. And I think, again, as in all of these piles and this whole energy is of this new moon in Scorpio, while all these planets are in retrograde motion, that's because it's connecting to the eternity within. It is dreaming that dream or writing it out, doing the free writing so that the high priestess can reveal your own individuality, can reveal yourself to you, and you're going to love it. That Page of Cups, a new version of yourself with those water codes. You have raised your vibration. There you have it. Another confirmation. Raise your vibration. the thing with sometimes with water signs, there is a tendency to sort of hold on. They're showing me an image of like a stagnant, or like a brook or a river that comes up against a bunch of boulders, and then, but water never stops. Water just finds a way to weave around it. That's the energy that I'm seeing around you all. And look, you've got a crossroad that comes. Your Lehman card, your crossroad. So there's a decision that you are literally coming to a place of making a decision about how you want to live. Because it's heavy. Some of it's heavy. And there's a choice that you're making to change it. Surrender to the change and stop resisting it. Because it's gonna result. I get it. This is gonna result in a version of yourself that you have to learn how to trust. Seven of Swords. You have to learn how to trust. You have to learn, honor your individuality. There's a part of you that's emerging during this time, this new moon in Scorpio, that you have to embrace. It may be something that you're not quite comfortable with. It may be something that a way of seeing yourself that you haven't before. This honor your individuality. It may be that for some of you, this is showing that you've outgrown some friendships, or you've outgrown, how you've been relating with certain people. Doesn't mean that it's over. It just means that you're the one feeling this shift within, and you're not going to be able to deny it. You're not supposed to deny it. It says process your feelings. All right? Process your feelings. It's okay. It's okay to have really, really intense feelings. Howl at the moon. And it's okay. Get in a quiet space, or run the shower and put a pillow up to your mouth as you do it if you don't want to, alarm the family, you know what I mean? But just get it out. Process your feelings. And that's where that writing comes in as well. That's that free writing, surrendering to the change. Process your feelings. Your feelings are valid. Your point of view is valid. You have this ancient wisdom and this innate intelligence that's valid, High Priestess, connecting to the eternity within. All of what you're feeling and thinking and wanting and desiring for it's all valid. But for you to see it begin to manifest, and for you to get comfortable in that validation, that's raising your vibration. You have the root of water, comes in your element, and it says highly sensitive. Of course you are. The root of water, highly sensitive. So are you so sensitive to others' opinions that you react in a couple of different ways? One, you either pull back, or you have pulled back. Instead of honoring, process your feelings, you choke it down. But that's self-deception, right? And that's why the crossroad is there. That seven of swords is not always deception outside of ourselves. Sometimes it can be the self-deception that we do to ourselves, in being highly sensitive, highly empathic. How others feel, what others think, how others relate to us then becomes our own version of ourselves, right? How somebody else sees us, leans, adds weight to how we see ourselves. And that's what this is speaking. Your own ancient wisdom, your own intelligence, becoming more sensitive to that rather than outside. And that's what raises your vibration. I have split your focus. That's interesting. Split your focus. Earth and cosmos. For some of you, studying astrology or studying certain cosmic events will help you. It's almost as if what I'm getting from this is there are certain cycles within the universe, within the galaxy, within how the planets move, even talking about astrologically, all these planets being in retrograde while the new moon is in Scorpio. There's something about your ability to look at it from both angles, the spiritual and the physical. Spiritual and the physical, high priestess, that's where she lives, right? The bridge between both worlds. That's something there. Splitting your focus actually raises your vibration. If you've been too bogged down in the day-to-day practical stuff, right? Work, pay the bills, take care of the family, go grocery shopping, blah, 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 do the laundry. That's what they're, get in touch. Ancient wisdom, the intelligence is within you. There's a call to split your focus back into that high priestess dynamic within yourself. And again, Ace of Swords, writing it out, talking it out, playing music, being audible, saying your prayers, writing down your prayers, repeating your prayers, processing your feelings. That's what helps you to connect to eternity within. And you have the tailor, attention to detail and pride, because you are tailoring your life. Again, we talk so often about new moon energy being that time of manifestation and what you want to move toward. And ultimately, that's what you're doing here, water signs. That's what you're doing. You're moving toward this elevated and higher part of yourself that can operate without the fear or the self-deception, that really can see. You can be sensitive to the world around you without taking so much of it in that you lose your individuality. That's that Aquarius energy. All right, water signs. I am so sorry about that. I got a phone call while I was taping, and when I'm taping on my phone, it will automatically shut off a video. And I forgot to put on Do Not Disturb. So I'm sorry about that. I was almost through, finished with your reading. Just had a couple of cards left. We just talked about that tailor and tailoring your life. And you also have a couple of archetypes here that are for you. One is the martyr, learning the transcendent nature of service to oneself or a cause. Now, this is really important for you all because remember, you had that highly sensitive, being empathic, finding your individuality, and doing that by coming more into being more conscious about your attention to the higher realms with that high priestess energy. So don't martyr yourself. That's the bottom line. That if you do that, that's what interrupts raising your vibration. So processing your feelings is understanding that martyrdom, that tendency to give so much to others that you somehow come out on the short end of things. That's what you're not doing anymore. And you have a clean slate, a blank slate, basically. And this is tailoring your life moving forward into this version of yourself that takes precedence over others. It is this connecting to eternity within you. It is this really having an exploration and a time to explore your feelings and explore who you want to be. I love that this came with the blank shield because it is you turning a page, literally turning a page, Ace of Swords, and deciding for yourself. Here's what I want to do, and I want to do it a different way. And your final card, a gemstone that will help you, is the Child Within, rhodochrosite. Check that out if you're not already familiar with it. Rhodochrosite, the Child Within. There's, and I've gotten some other messages in these readings today around the child within, remembering again that so much of this new moon and Scorpio energy is giving us reason to examine ourselves within. Ancient wisdom, your intelligence is within you, eternity within you. High priestess, being that navigating between spirit, that deeper part of you that has sacred knowledge, that is now coming forward to raise your vibration. And the way you clear it to raise it is process your feelings, okay? And work with that rhodochrosite, that self-love. I think for some of you, you've given a lot to others as a roadmap You know, in other words, if I do this, if I show up in the world a certain way, then surely it's going to come back to me. But if it doesn't, that's what goes back to that Seven of Swords, feeling sort of off or betrayed energy. And you don't have to have that anymore. You want to turn all of that sensitivity into your own well-being. Okay? All right, you all. Again, I'm sorry for that cutoff there at the end, but I had to get back on here and give you the end of your message as well. And take really good care. Let me know what you thought, and I will talk to you real soon. Bye.